Hey guys, Caleb here from Daddy Daughter Rips, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about bulk. This is how we got our start in the business, but a lot of people tend to focus on collections, the big winners, so to speak, of, oh, I sold a $400 card or sold a $250 card. Those are really fun. I've had a couple of those happen in my time here as a TCG seller, but bulk is where the money is at. People don't seem to realize this, or they don't necessarily know how to optimize it. And when I first started, I started by buying bulk, getting collections of old vintage cards, 20 bucks here, 20 bucks there on the Facebook Marketplace, or, maybe a little bit more than that just to get bulk. And I wanted to talk to you all a little bit about how I approach it, what's worked for me, and how to maximize your value. So let's dive in. All right. So one of the things is, people sell bulk, right? So what is bulk? Bulk is any card, right, it's not shiny usually. Those shiny cards are bulk now. Back when I was a kid, they weren't. It's basically the non-hits, right, from any of the card packs. So these are your commons, your uncommons, maybe even your rares. Not the fun cards, not the exciting cards, and they come quite literally in bulk. Really easy to get by, right? All right, so first of all, what is bulk? Well, bulk is the non-hits of any Pokemon card, and this applies to Magic or other sets as well, but it's the cards that nobody wants, right? So we're talking about, commons, uncommons, maybe even rares, etc., that just don't have much monetary value. They're not collectible, maybe they're not even playable. So how do I leverage bulk? What do I do with bulk? How do I make it work? I think the first thing you need to do is source it. So number one, what do we need to do to get bulk? I like to post on Facebook Marketplace. I have a long-standing post in my area that says, hey, I'm buying bulk, and it has my rates. There are weeks that nobody reaches out to me, and there are weeks that multiple people reach out to me. So it's always important. I like to have a little bit of cash on hand because I like to always be buying. I'll take anybody who says, hey, I don't care if it's $10 worth of bulk or $150 or $400 worth of bulk. I will buy it. I will take it off their hands. I have my pre-negotiated rates. If somebody reaches out with maybe some more valuable bulk like vintage, I will absolutely adjust said rates. I like to talk to those folks, but I have kind of like my standards that I will pay. What this allows me to do is intake a lot of cards. I have bought tens of thousands of cards in one go. I've bought one ETB box full of cards in one go. But what I like to do is source as much as I can. Another way to get bulk is if I'm buying a collection off of someone and we are having trouble negotiating the right percentage, or I'll just ask like, hey, I'm buying this collection off you. Do you have any bulk, right? A lot of collectors have a ton of bulk lying around. This works extremely well. I've gotten a lot of bulk from folks who are just like, yeah, I'm selling my collection. You want my bulk? Take it. This is a great way to source bulk. And one key thing in the bulk business is you generally want to keep getting bulk. One of the most important things, source as much as you can because you're going to go through a lot of it. And we'll get into that in later steps, but it's really important that you focus on getting bulk. All right, second step. What do you do once you have all this bulk, right? Well, you sift it. Lots of different ways to do it. Everybody has different standards. I like to go for anything pretty much 20 cents or above on TCG Marketplace. So I will sort on TCG Marketplace and I'll say, hey, I'm filtering or sifting through this set. How many cards are worth 20 cents or above? It's not a hard and fast rule for me. If there's a cute card or a popular card that's 18, 15 cents, even 10 cents, I will typically keep it to the side and I will list it. This takes some time. There's lots of tricky ways to do this. You can go by pure value. You can go by artist, such as like a Yukimori card is almost always valuable regardless of the actual market price. So I will filter out. I filter out by playables, by artist, and by Pokemon type, right? So Evolution, automatic add to my pile, doesn't matter. Pikachu, always in my pile. Snorlax, always in my pile. It's really important to be able to sift what value you want from the bulk. It still takes effort to sell these bulk cards, so pick what you want. Some people sell everything. I think that's a lot. It's a lot of storage, it's a lot of effort, and they tend to sell slow. So I don't really bother. I try to grab the higher value stuff and work from there. Works pretty well for me. So step 3, you have pulled out some valuable cards. Like I've got some Sharpedos here from Champions Path. I've got, what's another good one here that I was digging up? Ooh, yeah, here's some Machop from Champions Path. I had picked up some bulk from a guy, a couple thousand cards. Really interesting, like a little Arbok, right? These are all in that kind of 20-cent category. Pull all those aside, and then I will list them on TCG Player. I don't list my bulk on eBay. I find it very tedious, so I just stick to TCG Player. List all the cards that you have picked or sifted out. You will not pick a ton of cards. It kind of depends on what you do, but I just recently bought 6,000 cards, I think, from a guy. This is the amount that I've listed. This is maybe 100 cards here, somewhere in that vicinity. And then I've got a really large stack, probably about 500 cards, maybe a little bit less here, of commons and uncommons that I still need to list. You know, it's going to be a subset. So I usually figure I will pull, you know, maybe 5 to 10%, maybe even less from an average bulk lot. List the cards that you want. They're not going to sell right away. You need a critical mass of bulk cards to make this work. This is with any sort of bulk sale, unless it's a playable, you are banking on a collector who is trying to master set or just collecting a specific Pokemon or type of Pokemon. And so it's really important to have that wide range of cards that they want to buy. And then you pair that with being a level 4 seller and setting your free shipping at $5. It's really easy to get people who will look through your catalog and go, hey, I'm going to get $5 worth of cards, which is, you know, 20, 30 some odd bulk cards that are selling. Depending on your floor price, you make a lot of money doing this. Is it a lot of actual dollars? No, but if I buy cards at a penny a piece and I sell them for 20, 25, 30 cents a piece, that starts to add up. And the more you do of that, the more money you make, right? It's a volume game with bulk. All right, so you've listed your cards, you're waiting for them to sell. Maybe they are already selling. You're starting to make really good profit margin off of those cards, right? We just talked about it. 1 to paying a penny and you're selling it for 30 cents, or maybe even paying 5 cents and selling it for 30 cents. What do you do with the cards that you don't want? I end up with thousands of cards this way. My poor wife puts up with me in the basement. I think at one point I have had over 40,000 cards just in bulk that I do not want, that I've sifted through just sitting in my basement. That doesn't do very good for the business, right? So we've spent money on these cards. How do we continue to squeeze money out? Well, you turn around and you resell these cards. I've done it in multiple ways. Here are the ones that I like. You can always create and fill ETB boxes, right? Fill these up, sell them on Marketplace for $10, $5, depending on where you're at. But people use bulk for all sorts of things. Art projects, giving away to kids, you know, selling, reselling, all this fun stuff. Maybe you will sell to somebody who wants to list every single card that they get their hands on. Good for them, right? Do you want to spend your time on that? Maybe, maybe not. Another option is to sell to online bulk buyers. So there's several websites that you can go to. Popular ones are like TCG Bulk Kings. I've personally dealt with Troll and Toad, done some bulk sales to them, and also I've done with Meta TCG. I will ship off a big box. You can see them back here, you know, flat rate box full of Pokemon cards, commons, uncommons. It's not hard to get 2 cents per card online. You do have to pay shipping, which is about $27 for a large flat rate box, but you're going to get $120 back out of that. Then you can make your money back really fast. And this allows you to buy more bulk. So this is how I approach it. This is what's worked really well for me. Like, so if I pay, you know, $10 for 1,000 cards, I can sell 100 of those for 25 cents a pop. And then I can sell the other 900 for 2 cents a card or 1 cent a card and make my money back. That's a really good way to keep money flowing into your business, keep things cycling, have cash on hand in order to buy more bulk, more collections. You will see more go through your system. And this is a business where you want to churn. You want to be selling cards. You want to be moving cards. You want to be getting new cards in. So this is the steps that we take to sell our bulk. Hopefully this is helpful to everyone. It took us a little while to kind of figure out what worked for us, but the obvious things are to buy, right? But what do? How do you kind of maximize your money? How do you keep those cards flowing through your business? And this is what we found to be really effective. Hopefully it will help make bulk work for you. If you're interested in selling bulk, we buy. So feel free to reach out, either drop a comment in the video below, let us know what's going on, how much you have. We would be happy to talk about purchasing it from you. We'll even take shipments in. We can show you how to pack the cards. If you are interested in pursuing this or asking more questions about it, let us know. I don't really like that, but whatever.